It's Thursday the 5th of January 2017 and I'm back at Enfield Highway to do a further walk along the London Loop long distance footpath. The London Loop goes down this road, St Stephen's Road. Down there. Nice London Loop sign with the walking man in St Stephen's Road. We now turn left off the road along this path. And the path follows the Turkey Brook. The path follows the Turkey Brook on the left, and on the right there's Albany Park. The walk now crosses the London-Liverpool Street to Cambridge Railway by means of this footbridge. Here comes a train. After crossing the railway, we continue to follow the Turkey Brook, which is now on the right hand side. We now use the footbridge ahead to cross Mollison Avenue, a main road. We now come to the River Lee navigation and follow the towpath with the river on the right. Shortly after joining the Lee in the last clip, we turn left across a car park and come to this path beside a channel of the Lee, still on London Loop. London Loop now crosses this bridge. Problem I've got, I'm walking straight into the sun, so videoing's a bit awkward in the direction I'm travelling. The walk now heads along this path beside a channel of the Lee and a fence on the right. Another bridge to cross. After crossing the bridge in the last clip, we now have to cross the bridge ahead, Cattlegate Bridge, which crosses the Horsemill stream. And there's a view along Horsemill stream, pretty wide stream, from the Cattlegate footbridge. After crossing Cattlegate footbridge, we're entering Sewardstone Marsh. We follow the made path from the end of Cattlegate footbridge in the last clip. Now heading along this excellent path across Sewardstone Marsh. We now come to the main Sewardstone Road, where we turn right for just over 100 yards to a footpath on the left. Now heading along the Sewardstone Road to the footpath on the left. London Loop now goes diagonally across this field. I'm pointing right into the sun. At the corner of the field, the walk comes to a junction of tracks and takes that path ahead, heading uphill towards those trees. This is the Sewardstone Hills. Climbing on the Sewardstone Hills on the London Loop. We now turn right off the wide path over this stile. few yards on we have to cross another stile. I'm still walking straight into the sun. After crossing the stile in the last clip, great views open up over to the right. At another stile there's confirmation we're on London Loop, and that's the way ahead. After crossing a fourth stile, looking back, the views really open up. After looking at the views in the last clip, the London Loop crosses a field, then another stile, and it crosses this cinder track to a stile ahead. Now walking across the area known as Sewardstone Green. We now turn right along a track to join the road known as Dawes Hill, which you can see there, and old mattresses dumped at the side of the track. On joining the road at Dawes Hill, we pass this pleasant pond. As you can see, it's very cold, it's almost frozen, that pond. At this point we've joined a section of the Greenwich Meridian Trail, but here's confirmation that we're on London Loop, walking along Dawes Hill, the road. We now turn right along the driveway into Gilwell Park. Interesting gateway. And now London Loop turns left along there. Now joining a bridleway, which is part of both the Greenwich Meridian Trail and London Loop. Again, I'm pointing right into the sun. At this fork we take the right hand path. Now following the pleasant path which is known as Gilwell Lane. Beautiful woodland view on Gilwell Lane. Further on and the track starts to descend. We now turn left along this narrower path up there. The narrower path descends quite steeply. The path descends into this, well, valley I suppose you'd call it. Quite pleasant view over to the right. And there's the path ahead. I'm still into the sun here. The way joins another path and then crosses this footbridge. Now climbing up to Hawk Wood. Now turning left along this track through Hawk Wood. Continuing along the very pleasant track through Hawk Wood. Another woodland view in Hawkwood along the path. We now come to Berry Road, which we cross and turn right along a roadside path. Now heading along the path beside Berry Road towards Chingford on the London Loop. The path emerges onto Chingford Plain. We now turn left on this path across Chingford Plain. London Loop now bears right uphill along this grassy path. And there's a great view looking back over Chingford Plain. And there's a view of the 16th century Queen Elizabeth's hunting lodge. I'm now having a cup of tea at the Butler's Retreat, which is next to the Queen Elizabeth hunting lodge. After the Butler's Retreat, the walk crosses the A1069 Rangers Road and turns left along this path near the road. Further on, the path bears to the right to head up this slope and leads gradually away from the Rangers Road. And there's a good view looking back the way I've come, looking down the slope now. We now cross the main A104 road to the footpath ahead. There's the old London Loop confirmation, and there's the path bearing to the right, heading to the A121 road now to cross that. We now head across this field to the crossing of the A121. After crossing the A121, we head along this path across Roebuck Green. We bear left after crossing the main road. Now heading along this path beside a health garage. Further on, the path becomes a pleasant green lane. We're on something called the Golden Jubilee Walk, as well as London Loop at this point. After going through a kissing gate, the path goes along the edge of this field. We now take this footbridge over the Epping branch of the Central Line. After crossing the railway, London Loop turns left along Thaxted Road for about 250 yards. London Loop now turns right along this surface path. After crossing a road, the path continues. The path now goes across the Roding Valley Recreation Ground. We now come to this beautiful lake, and we turn to the right to follow the edge of it. Now following the path round the head of the lake. At the edge of the lake, the path bears right and crosses this footbridge over the River Roding. And there's a view along the Roding. Over the bridge, London Loop turns left along this path beside the Roding. Through a kissing gate, we come to this fork in the path and take the right hand path uphill. London Loop now bears right along this made path. We're approaching the M11 now. We've just been walking through the Roding Valley Meadows Nature Reserve. Here's an information board about it. Now walking along this road beside the M11. We now turn left along this road into Chigwell, and at first it crosses the M11. Now at Chigwell Underground Station and the end of today's walk along the London Loop.